Back in Denver, Colorado. My name is Dave Vincent as we have the opening rally between Nick Christopher Nahorniak
Take the ball.
and Anthony Selestow. Nick in Illinois, and we have Anthony from Wisconsin going up against each other for the first time. They live basically just a couple hours away from each other, both dominating their regions, and yet they never play against each other. Referee is Luis Cordova. You're watching this live broadcast courtesy of Handball, and that was a nice little slide on that left side wall. The pros play all bad bounces and no slides to include the serve. It's a one-game match to 25, win by 2, halftime 15. Until it gets to the semifinals and finals where it goes to the best 2 of 3 to 21 breaker to 11.
Point. One serves 2.
I want to welcome Dave Fink into the booth here for this
terrible shot there from Nikolai. Really could not have hit a worse shot there, staying right up against the front wall and hits the ball right to Anthony.
2 serves 2.
Don't know if, oh, that's an amazing serve from Anthony. Sneaks one down the right. Don't know if that's an improved shirt from Nikolai. I have to go to the committee on that, Dave. Nikolai with a crafty left punch fist. Comes over the top of it and the ball straightens out on the floor.
2 serves 3.
Yeah, okay, the committee just got back to me. They said, yes, the shirt is okay.
Wow.
The title sponsor, Handball, is now supplying the shirts for the pro players, the ones that are sponsored. So, yeah, the committee said yes. And there's a nice flat kill. And like you said, that stand-up style of game that Nick has, it could be really deadly for Anthony Selestow. He could be the one being pushed around a lot.
I was watching Nikolai warm up this morning, and his left is really smooth. He's one of these guys like Armando or Alan Garner, whose left seems like it's almost as good, if not better, than his right. And you see he takes that ball with his left, and look what he does with it, Dave. Most guys take that with their right on the revolving door. He steps out towards the center of the court to take it with his left.
4 serves 3.
And Nikolai will have to do, or excuse me, Anthony will have to do a lot more with that return, as he just paddles the ball right down the middle of the court and 15 feet off the back wall.
5 to 3.
Look at that power. A great get there from Anthony.
It's nice to see some of these top players referee these matches. We saw Marcos Chavez earlier and Hondo Ortiz. Now you see Luis Cordova, who's actually going to play in a qualifier final in here reffing, which is kind of odd. It's right before his match, too.
Yeah. Well, Luis Cordova is a very laid-back guy.
He told me once that he likes to ref before because it gets him into the flow of how the game's supposed to be played. So he uses it for his advantage. Other people can't do that.
You know, Dave, I've noticed a huge difference with Nikolai. He is staying in the house with us this week, but not so much in his game, but he just looks and feels much more comfortable at these events. You know, he's come to events in the past, and you could tell he was a little bit out of his comfort zone. Just wasn't comfortable. Not the same guy that you would see if you watch him in a tournament in Chicago or Milwaukee where he's the top dog and he's the guy that wins every event. He comes here and, he, you know, maybe not as sure of himself, but now I think after that match with Luis Moreno and continuing to get more experience and exposure, he feels like, hey, I'm here to win this tournament. And I think he could. I definitely think he's on the short list, whether that's 4 guys or 6 guys or 8 guys that could win this tournament.
Yeah, there's a different air about him. In fact, our house was a little loud last night at about 3 in the morning, as you recall.
No, I don't. I sleep with earplugs.
Okay. Well, Nick woke up and he came out with his luggage from his bedroom. And I said, so you're just going to go to the club and find another place? No, I have all my workout clothes in there. But we all know that he's focused this tournament. I mean, he's sleeping down in the basement in the washroom where it's really private, and yet he really wants to focus.
I'm seeing Nikolai play a little bit more aggressively than I've seen him in race events in the past. He's getting behind the ball and stepping into it and driving the ball with both hands. A lot of power, and that puts a lot of pressure on Anthony.
Hold it.
And we have a racquetball that came in, Dave, from the other court. I mean, completely the other side of the building.
I like how Anthony, or was that, it was Anthony who just threw it over the top.
I think I saw that Sunday over watching the final at Indian Wells, one of the backcourts. There was a mixed doubles match or something. What the ref do in that case? They just immediately stop play? The chair referee, did he let the player take the winner, or did he have to stop it right away?
Yeah, you have to stop it right away. I believe you should have a chance to hit the winner in handball if you're set up for it. If you hit a flat roll, it should count. And Nikolai hit that so hard that even though it wasn't that great of a shot, what can you do? 91 miles per hour, Dave.
Wow, on the radar gun?
Gene Casimoto registered that. Wow. That's the 3rd highest reading we've ever had.
I think this altitude's really working itself into these numbers coming off that radar gun.
Yeah, the altitude's a huge factor. I know you have your stopwatch on, but these tennis players get to events 1 or 2 weeks early, and you say, well, why? You can just hit on your court wherever you are, but the altitude changes everything. They know that the ball travels faster and farther when you play in altitude, so those balls that are hitting the baseline at sea level are going to be a foot or 2 feet out at altitude. They have to adjust their strings, their strokes, everything.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. You were talking about fast court before. I don't know. I think it's an average speed court, but the ball just stays up longer. It's not getting to the back wall faster. It's just just hasn't dropped as much in the amount of time it takes to get there.
Well, very similar to golf, where you might hit a 7-iron 175 yards at sea level, and you're hitting at 200 at altitude, and this is no different. So that ball might have been 84 miles per hour in Milwaukee, Dave. Here it's 91.
I'm disputing that, though. I'm saying, like, the fastball doesn't get faster at Coors Field. The hit doesn't come off the bat faster. It just stays in the air longer.
4-10. 4 serves 10.
There's less air resistance up here at this altitude. Not as dense when you get up here, so that ball seems to fly. But John, what was the fastest recorded ball that you recall? I know that there's that historic Toddy Severa versus John Bike speed test on a radar gun, but what was the fastest that you heard of?
It was 112 miles an hour.
With a handball?
Yes.
Wow.
I can play too, guys.
Okay.
I can do that.
All right, so not only is
if
this
that
a
was
free Friday.
Oh.
if that was 91.
Which it was. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
4 serves 11.
4 serves 11 with Anthony Selestow in the box here. That ball looked like it could have been short or a
Now
screen.
people question that, but a handball is so much lighter than a baseball. Of course it's possible to propel it faster.
5 serves 11.
Bubba Watson's ball speed is 185 miles per hour.
And check. Sorry, that was.
And I believe a handball is a little bit lighter than a golf ball, John.
5 serves 11.
I don't know that, but the extra length of the club and the hardness of that surface would come into play there.
Well, when you have 2,000 pounds of torque coming around onto that ball, pulling what, 2 Gs.
1.
Great call there from Anthony, Dave.
Nikolai's not sure about
12
that.
serves 5.
Yeah, Anthony's really got to just try and keep Nikolai on the court. I think the only major advantage Anthony has might not even come into play. I think he's better conditioned, but Nikolai just having things like this.
Is he in this altitude? But, you know, the thing about Nikolai, he hits the sidewall first on a lob serve. Don't think I've ever seen that.
I thought he hit the ceiling first.
Okay,
from that angle.
5 serves 13.
Nikolai routinely wins singles and doubles events in Milwaukee, and Chicago, beating really good players. He'll play 7 matches in a weekend, and he's still winning both matches on Sunday. So that tells me he's got a lot of reserve energy.
6 serves 13.
Maybe it was outdoor heat or something. I have somewhere in that vault of a memory of mine seeing him succumbing to fatigue, but it might have just been weather conditions. I'm not the note taker you are. I just kind of go by feel.
John, what do you think about that 2-all pass there from Nikolai, who's looked like he was playing defense?
13 serves.
Yeah, with that kind of velocity on it, if the guy happens to be leaning the wrong way, all of a sudden it's offense, huh?
That's right. Amazing shot there. John, do you see a difference? That's a great shot from Anthony. Between today's pros and yesterday's pros, in that today's pros seem to have almost two equally good hands, whereas, you know, in your era, it seemed like a guy had an amazing strong hand and, you know, not a terrible offhand, but maybe not as offensive as you see guys today.
Yeah, and that's what they said about us compared to guys like Hershkowitz. They called it in the 50s. They called Hershkowitz the first free swinging offhand, and people after that didn't really agree with that. And now we're hearing it. It just goes on forever.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Although we do have several of the same players. We have you and Nadi Jr. and Marcos Chavez. I think the two lefties in our time had solid but not fluid offhands, but there were plenty of solid offhands. Silvera's wasn't bad. Alvarado Jr., Munoz. Which of these guys are you saying is better than that?
Well, I'm not saying Nikolai's better, but
which one has a better left than Silvera?
Well, I think Nikolai has a great left. I'm not sure it's at Silvera's level by any means, but I think if you look at his two hands, I don't see much of a difference between them.
Yeah, I've always noticed that. In fact, I didn't know Nikolai's natural. I didn't know what he was first time I saw.
I mean, you see Nikolai taking balls, you know, on the left side of the court that most right-handers would take with their right. He takes with his left. Do you subscribe to that theory that you have two strong hands, or do you like that sword and shield where you know you have your money shot with your strong hand?
I ended up being somewhere in between that, just always testing the offensive range of my offhand on that day. You know, if I was feeling it, it was the better way to go. But certainly couldn't always rely on it. Yeah, there aren't many sword and shields now. Like even Chapman, he'd punish you if you left him a setup with his left. He was known for his phenomenal defense, but
overhit. Oh. Another overhit. That was horrible from Anthony. Another one.
What a rally.
Gosh.
This is like the overhit finals.
That's 4 backwall setups in a row. Nikolai
he just had
finally
to
takes care of
deeper,
business.
yeah.
That's the thing about this altitude. Sometimes you don't move your feet that extra little step because you're just out of breath or just can't move. Nikolai's left is really smooth, isn't it?
14 serve
yeah.
9.
We're at halftime point, or half point.
That was a crucial error for Anthony when he lost that back wall setup rally at 13-9 because he was coming back. If he would have won that rally, it would have been 10-13. Now down 14-9. He'll need a couple points here to halt Nikolai's momentum going into halftime. Maybe even build his own.
9 serves 14.
We're at 9-14. This is the second qualifier match. That's long. Second serve now of the morning. Extended bonus coverage here on a free Friday. Anthony Selestow up against Nick Nahorniak.
I'm not sure, Dave, why you can hit a long serve and get a second serve, but if you hit the sidewall or ceiling first, you're automatically down.
Well, I think it's because the rule is hit the front wall first. I think that's where the distinction is.
Yeah, and it's sort of like, if you look at it from that angle, John, if you can't hit the front wall, it's like hitting the broadside of a barn, right?
Pretty much,
you can't hit it, you probably don't deserve to be in there for this shift. I mean, it is 20 by 40 and got a lot of square footage out there.
You're about 16 feet away from it when you're...
Yeah, I mean, it's...
So you're basically judging the miss then. You're saying, well, that miss wasn't as bad as this miss, so therefore you're down.
The long serve does hit the front wall first, and that's where I believe the rule is.
I like how Nikolai gets up to that ball. He doesn't just paddle it. He gets up there and hits a hard sidearm swing. It seems like he's got long arms that he's able to do that. You see most guys just up there and a paddle shot from that position.
Nick just able to get a hand on that. That's, again, another back flip with that backhand from Nick Nahorniak, and now another side out. Now these are the things that could actually affect Nick a little later. A lot of these side outs as Anthony keeps this game going, even though clearly Nick looks better than Anthony at this moment, but Anthony could get Nick tired, and he's not going to do it with shots like that. Double fault, 14-9.
I've not seen a lot of these top guys say, you know, I was really tired after that one game match at 25. Even 3 in one day. In fact, Dave, as you know, we've had 3 qualifiers make the finals of a race stop this season in our only 3 race rules events.
I agree with that. Just the wild card is the altitude.
Halftime.
You never know
3 minutes.
how it's going to affect anyone.
Scores 15,
And there is a
79.
halftime here at 15-9 with Nahorniak in the lead. Now, coming up this weekend is the All-Ireland Senior Championships at Kings Court. It's actually Kingspan is the name of the club in Kings Court, County Cavan, which is an amazing venue. And Dave, we've been there before. At 1 p.m. Kings Court time, Cavan time, I should say, in Ireland, they have the minor final between Fergal Coughlin and Johnny Woods, and then the ladies final with Aisling Riley and Katrina Casey coming on right after that, and then they go right into the men's, Dermot Nash and Robbie McCarthy, and hopefully we're going to watch that streamed live over the internet. So that'll be fun. Go out to rollouthandball.com and read the new story posted about Robbie McCarthy. You can see one of the biggest, probably the most historic handball tournaments in the history of this game's longevity, and that is the All-Ireland Senior Championships. They play best 2 out of 3 to 21. Tiebreaker, also 21. That'll be a fun one to watch, and there's a lot of anticipation for that men's finals as Paul Brady took a step back this year, said, I'm just going to go out and watch it as opposed to play in it. He's won 10 of those, and he said, you know, this Dermot Nash kid is amazing, and it's more destiny with him, more so than maybe Robbie, but then they both have this really kind of strange oddity thing going on right now where the recent news with Dermot Nash, you know about that, and therefore it seems to be, I would say, more into the destiny of the family and what he represents in handball and his legacy now. And then you got Robbie McCarthy, who's going after that amazing Irish trifecta, where he's going to try to attempt to do something that, you know, really hasn't been done. I don't think it's ever been done before. And it's a rare record. And that is that he's going to create a unique record in Ireland handball, and I think everybody knows about that. Become the first player to win the all-senior, the open singles title in the Irish game, the senior hardball singles, senior 60x30 softball singles, senior 40x20 singles, Irish nationals, 40x20 singles, and Irish national one-wall singles all in the same year. Now right now he's on target to do that. So he's in the finals here after pretty much dominating that 60x30 game. So that's going to be an interesting thing as he chases a little bit of trivia himself. He's going for pretty much the All-Ireland Slam is Robbie McCarthy.
Is it by a calendar year or a set handball season, or would it be like the Tiger Slam that just starts with whichever one he wins first?
Yeah, I think it's a set year instead of a calendar season. But he is a front runner in every single one of those. I mean, now that he's in the finals of the 40x20, Paul being out of the singles actually opened the door for him, and it was already open anyway. But
All right. 9 serves 15.
okay, we're back now. On this one, though, second
Short.
qualifier match of the day with Anthony Selestow down 9-15
Second serve.
versus Nick Nahorniak.
We almost did it again. Almost very close to another long serve.
Hold it. Nine serves 15. Short. Second serve.
Goes to a different second serve now.
Now that serve is what I had to go up against last year in the
Cut out.
round of 16 match.
Is that what you did?
No, he did that to me, and it just
Did you
picked me
handle it like
apart.
Nicholas did?
No, I
Right,
did not.
no.
Actually,
Nikolai.
the other way around.
15 serves 9. Nice.
It's a
Cut out.
fast man.
No, instead I
Nine
did
serves
the old
15.
tin cup and decided that I wanted to return it with my left to the ceiling, and I just kept practicing that until I made one. So it pretty much ended
10
my
serves
tournament
15.
instead of trying something different.
But ended on your terms.
Right.
I have no beef
And
with that
I
at all.
got the girl. Just like the movie. Life
11
imitating
serves
art.
15.
Rene Russo.
Boy,
I like that inside-out swing right there, and Anthony draws a little closer now at 12 to 15.
12 serves 15.
And you can see what halftime does. As those at home say, you know, I'm just not really into this one game to 25, don't understand, but you can see that it did break momentum taking that half.
Absolutely, yeah.
Anthony comes back in and serves and gets some points here.
But, oh, excellent call by the ref to see Anthony's advantage and let that shot play itself out.
Anthony dives and actually puts himself into a position to kind of slightly block on that dive as well. He did two things at the same time. Put the ball in a good spot.
No, that's another beautiful shot.
You see how Anthony got out of the way, though? A lot of the play would stop because the player would stick in that spot.
Oh.
Anthony's just in fuego right now at 14 to 15, making just crazy shots.
David 3 times now hasn't noticed the cord between his path to the table and the chow line.
Unbelievable.
And now Nikolai overhitting everything.
Still ignoring it.
Fool me once, shame on you.
Not out.
Amazing get from Anthony, and he calls it a 2 bounce.
Nice call. 15 serves 14.
And this is anybody's game now, Dave. Looked like Nikolai was in control going into the half.
Well, Anthony's playing really aggressive right now. I mean, just this is a different, like a flip of a switch or something.
Boy, the body language, you would think Anthony had a 5 to 10 point lead, but Anthony's kind of always like that. He's like that when he's down 10 points.
He had the same body language when he was making us breakfast this morning, John.
Yes, he did. Even the one he burned, he was still happy about it.
15 serves 14.
Anthony has a lot of motivation. He was bouncing the first round of the qualifier in New York to Kevin Kopchuk.
Anxious to show that was not a true reflection of who he is.
Point.
You have to think at all costs to keep the ball off the back wall against
16
Nikolai.
serves 14.
Even if he doesn't kill it, he hits such a hard shot that there's really not much you can do with it. You know, John, you hear a lot of people say, well, you got to, you know, keep the ball up high and keep it to the ceiling, but then you find out these guys are good at hitting the ceiling also.
Yeah, you're not just going to earn a point because a guy can't get that shot back, and the extra problem up here is just how it stays up. It's just so hard to. Your normal ceiling shot is going to come off the back wall. Another brilliant shot by Anthony. You really got to make an adjustment, softer or further back on the ceiling.
It was a great serve and a great flying, diving kill.
16.
Yeah, most of Anthony's points, it's not one quick run, but just about every point he scored has been a spectacular shot.
Second serve.
Anthony's got a lot of support here this week. 2 of his brothers, Blaze and Evan, are here supporting him. And that's got to be a big motivator for him.
Yeah, but oddly enough, that's only, what, 5% of his whole family?
Yeah.
Brothers and sisters, I mean. I think he's got like 11 brothers and sisters.
Beautiful shot. Didn't quite get by him.
Oh,
Anthony's
wow.
just really feeling it now. He's just holding the pose. He knows it's going to be good before it gets there.
16 serves 16.
We're all together at 16, and Anthony's just effortless here at this
But why
moment.
not?
What
Why
in
not?
the world is that?
Not in a good position now. And Nikolai having none of that.
Let's take a replay if we can. Anthony Selestow did the Mary Lou Retton at the dotted line.
16.
I want to thank Bear Maring for watching this live broadcast. Big Colorado supporter, now part of the committee of the Colorado Handball Association. I believe he's the president. When I say a guy is part of the committee, you don't normally
17 serves 16.
refuse. There's
Gosh, that was amazing.
amazing shot right there. Refuse to acknowledge that he's the president of the California Handball Association. Excuse me, Colorado Handball Association.
Another quick side out for Anthony.
And this has kind of been the knock on
16
Nikolai.
serves
If you can
17.
put pressure on him and keep rallies alive and make a lot of gets, he starts to make errors.
And that who can do that better than Anthony?
Second serve. Not out.
I think what happens a lot of times is you play a guy that hits the ball so hard, and after about a half a game, you start to really adjust to the power, and it doesn't bother you anymore like it does initially.
17.
And I think that's what you're seeing with
17
Anthony.
serves 16.
Yeah, and this is probably the same formula he's used to defeat Sean Lenning twice. I've only seen the ends of both of those matches. I didn't get to sit and watch the entire match. But Sean, same thing, can overpower most people.
Gosh.
A lot of power there, but
Well, you know, Anthony actually held big leads in both of those matches against Sean, 15-4,
18 serve 16.
before Sean made comebacks. This match is the opposite, where Anthony was trailing.
Point.
I'm just dumb as a clod. I don't even know why I said that.
well, that's true. Good call.
19 serve 16.
19-16, Nahorniak still has that lead.
And how hard is that when you're Anthony? You've come all the way back and scored
Second
6
serve.
consecutive points, and now quick 3 points for Nikolai. Takes a lot of air out of your sails.
Announcer's curse there, and the Nikolai feeling the pressure. All of a sudden, he's got 3.
I love that shot from Nikolai. You see how he gets on the outside of that ball, puts reverse on it to spin the ball back towards the right side wall, away
20
from
serve
Anthony.
16.
That's a very high level shot.
Boy, I would not want to
Gosh.
go up against Nikolai when he has that left hand and able to plant his feet, step in, and hit that ball straight like that. You know instantly what's going to happen.
21 serve 16.
Nikolai Nahorniak, sponsored by Edel Handball. He's wearing that tricked out gear, sponsors of the Race for 8 tour.
There's a big setup for Nikolai.
Ooh.
You know, it seems like, John, like you said, when Anthony was scoring his points, it was one spectacular shot after another. When Nikolai scores, it's just routine, serve,
22 serve
set up,
16.
flat kill with either hand, with a lot of power. You have to favor the guy that's able to make it look easy compared to the guy that's making spectacular shots to win rallies.
Yeah.
Anthony
Point.
got mixed up there.
And this is, even though Anthony will never do it, it's against his nature, but this is screaming for a
23
timeout,
serve
the way
16.
Nikolai's playing right now. I don't know, has anyone ever seen Anthony call a timeout before?
I haven't.
Well, he did call a few against Kevin Kopchuk in New York. It didn't work, so maybe he's abandoning that.
Well, now Nahorniak's at game point and also on the verge of putting all the Selestows out of the tournament, and it's just
Match point serve 16.
like 12:30 on a Friday.
Are they in the doubles at least? Historic, long history of Selestow teams in doubles
I
fields.
didn't see him there. And there was a bad bounce, and Nick didn't play it. And there's a
Oh.
side out, and he smiles and looks at the ref, and everybody knows that he
Out.
made a mistake.
That's why you have to check your emails.
16 serves 24.
Emails? 16-24. And instead of the player being mad at the referee, he just smiled, like I made a mistake.
Side out.
And he got that worry.
Well, you can smile like that when you're on an 8-0 run holding match point. How big would that smile have been, Dave, had it been
24 serve
24 all?
Short.
Oh, that was
Ooh.
close. I
Yeah.
thought that was good. John, I'm sure
It was very close.
your big
Second
screen
serve.
HD TV saw that better than ours, but
This could be it here.
that was a little lackadaisical, don't you think?
Well, the ball got right up against that left side wall, and Nikolai didn't have a full swing, so he was had to take something off of it to not jam
16
his
serves
fingers.
24.
Little crack serve, dug out. Nahorniak. Miss hit from Selestow, and Nahorniak back in to take this 1-game-to-25 match. Our next 12:45
Match point, serve
match is
16.
between our referee and Abraham Montijo, Luis Cordova.
They have a good rivalry.
Short.
About the same age. Actually, Abe about 2 years older.
Abe does not want to lose to Cordova either, so there's a rivalry there.
Second serve.
Both living in the Southwest, a few hours away from each other. Used to anyway, back when they first started playing. That could be it, but isn't.
Dave, should Nikolai win this, it'll be his first ever win against a ranked race player in race play.
Gee, Anthony just isn't letting this happen, though.
Well, he's Armijoing this last point. Oh, my gosh.
Beautiful angle, too.
Oh,
Wow, this is an amazing
that's a
rally.
good rally right
And
there.
it's finally ended by Nikolai Nahorniak. And
Anthony goes Waddy Dog in there, Dave.
so Selestow goes Waddy.
All he's
As-
missing is the circle bear hug around the court.
As Nikolai Nahorniak takes down Anthony Selestow 25-16. We're going to take a break. We have another great one coming up. This is going to be a good rivalry between Luis Cordova and Abraham Montijo. So let's take a break, get recharged for that one. I want to thank Linda Manning, Jeff Kastner, Dave Fink, John Bike. My name is Dave Vincent. We'll have more handball action, bonus coverage, as the qualifier continues from Denver, the Edel Handball Race for 8 Tour alongside the world players of handball at racefor8.com. We'll be back with more action. Stick with us.
Rethink what you know about this Vegas icon. Elevate your expectations at the Stratosphere Hotel, Casino, and Tower. See what's new, up, down, and all around.
My life is full of statistics. Thing is, I could have dropped out of school and become one myself, but I didn't, because I had people that believed in me. Here's another statistic. 7,000 students drop out every school day. That's one every 26 seconds. It's time that students know that we believe in them.
Inspire a student and share your message of support at boostup.org.
So, what's it gonna be? Could ride bikes, skating, movies, zoo, whatever you guys want to do.
Can we just do this?
Yeah. We could just do this.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Working and working out takes a lot of energy. That's why I drink Zenergy. Feeling fantastic and looking good has never been easier. Science, extreme science for your active lifestyle.
Here we go. We're gonna make some juice.
It's gonna be good.
She's excited. A little bit of kale.
Please don't put this on.
I'm putting it all over the line.
It's wet. It needs something. No, it'll go.
Don't break my juicer. Looks good.
You ready to try it?
Come on, baby.
Challenge your kids to be active and eat healthy.
It's okay.
Okay, all right.
They might surprise you.
She took another sip. You saw it?
Search We Can for more ideas on how you and your kids can get healthy together.